What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Chris here, and this is my episode number 5 of my Bloodborne playthrough. Let me take a bow. We're gonna go through a little side optional optional part of the game. You really don't have to do any of this. They're called the Chalice dungeons. They're very unique. They're actually very confusing, so I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can about what it is and how to use them. First thing, though, is you're going to need an ingredient to open it up, and that's what that ritual blood was. It was me showing off that you can at least buy them if you don't have them for some reason, or if you sold it for some reason. But if you've gone and got the chalice already, then in the church with about like the 10 enemies in there, the one that all bum rush you in there on the far end of that room on the altar, you can find 2 blood rituals there too, and that's the exact kind you need. Right here, if you talk to her, she says some stuff, so let's listen real quick.
The graves here stand in their memory. It all seems so long ago now.
We'll talk about what she's talking about here in a minute, a little bit later, as when I start explaining this chalice. Though first, before we really go into what she's talking about, there's not much there, I guess. Really, the biggest thing I think is that the dream, this world, isn't unique just to you, or at least it doesn't seem by what she says that it's not just for you. But we'll talk about it a little bit more. But the first things first, let's talk about Chalice dungeons. Now, this probably brought the most confusion to gamers so far in this game, because they can be a little confusing, and in fact it took me a little while to understand what was going on. So that first altar there is your makeshift altar, then everything else after that is called a ritual altar. You will need a chalice, so you have to beat the blood-starved beast to get your first chalice. Once you get it, you can come to any of these altars. It doesn't really matter which one. I picked this first one right here, but I go over here and I'm like, you know what? No, I want to pick the second one. And then when you go into it, we'll back out and we'll look at each one of these. So you got your chalice ritual. That's how you start your own. Then you got your dungeon search, so you can look up others that have opened up their dungeon to you. And then glyph is a password that your friend can give you so you can join the same one. Now, once you select the chalice ritual, you get to pick which chalice you want to use. So for right now, all we have is the Thumero chalice. It's the one you get off of Blood-Starved Beast, and in here, and that's where you select it. So once you select it, you get to see what goes on. So here it tells you what depth it is. It actually tells you on the previous menu what depth it is and what area you're going to be in and what materials you need. As you notice, you need the ritual blood, which I was showing off earlier, and you need 1,000 blood echoes. So you also need blood as well as basic materials. Now, sometimes it's not always ritual blood. There are other basic materials, but you will get those as you go through these dungeons. So you don't need to worry about, having to find them outside of anywhere else. These dungeons are very self-sufficient, is what I would say. So as long as you're doing them, you'll have stuff to do the other ones. So now once I place the chalice down, you'll see it brings up a menu when I click on it to go to the Chamber of the Seals. That's kind of just saying the beginning. It teleports you to the beginning of the dungeon. If you push square, you bring up a menu to keep your dungeon open or closed. Open lets other players search for it and they can get into it. Close will keep it from being accessed unless they know the glyph. Now the glyph, or the password, if you ever need it, is right here on this page down at the bottom right. You see it says conductor, privacy, and then chalice glyph. You need to give your friend that chalice glyph if you want them to get into the same chamber or dungeon as you. Now this is where things get super confusing, and I'll try to explain it the best I can here in a minute, after I kind of go over the little basics, I guess you can say, of the dungeon. But getting to play with your friend and stuff like that can be a little bit of a hassle, but it's not super tough if you just kind of know what you're looking for. So I go over here, and the reason why I come over here is that I just kind of want to show off that when you hit search by chalice glyph, it'll just bring up a keyboard, and then all you got to do is just type in the password, and then search. You can search through it for a lot. Now, so root chalice is something different than a standard. A standard chalice will always build the same dungeon. So when you place that chalice down, you will always build the same exact dungeon. You've been to it every time. So every time you play that dungeon, you will play that one again. So you can basically know the route. You know where you need to go. You know where the treasure's at. It's all the same. The root chalice, on the other hand, is the one where the dungeon gets built every time you put it down. So it can be randomized. It's going to be your random dungeons. Then areas, the different areas of the underground area, I guess you can say. Depth I believe is how hard it gets. So depth 1 is going to be easier and depth 5 is going to be your hardest. I believe that's what depth is really referring to. Each dungeon seems to be 3 levels, I think some of them go even past that. So I don't know how true that is, to be honest. But I know that each like dungeon you can have up to 3 different levels, so that's not what that's talking about. I think more it's about how hard it is. So right there you saw that I couldn't do like a different area because I haven't met that point. And then I open up the search results and you can see there's a bunch of people with a bunch of open labyrinths you can join. Now once you join these, you're not going to be connected to that player. What's going to happen is you're going to open up their dungeon on your thing. And what you would need to do is have them use their, I believe, what's it called, their beckoning bell, and you would have to use your resonant bell. And if you did that, then you guys would join into the same one. But what's the off chance that that's going to happen, right? If they don't know you're in there and you don't know that they're in there, how are you going to have the luck to find out? If you look at the top right real quick, you'll see a bunch of little messenger guys. All that has to do is how many times he shared this I guess labyrinth. So it kind of I guess in a way it shows that if he shared it a lot, that might mean he's completed it a lot. It might be a little bit more expertise. I'm not 100% sure if that's the way you should take that. You know, I think that's a little vague in that description, but that is what that means. It just shows how many times they've shared that dungeon. So once you place it, you can always just remove it. You can't share a friend's dungeon, so like this is from some other person. But I thought about it and I was like, well, I guess you could, since it gives you the name of the person, you could probably just message them on like PSN and then be like, hey, do you want to do the dungeon you have open? And then get him to ring his beckoning bell, and then you can ring your resonant bell, and then you guys could have a lot of fun with a complete stranger. That would be the way to do it with a complete stranger. Otherwise, you just have to guess when you do it, right? Hopefully when he goes in, he automatically rings his beckoning bell, and then when you join his thing, you just ring a resonant bell. Now it can take quite a bit of time before you guys connect. It just depends, I think, on the connection and how far and all that stuff. I've heard upwards of maybe even like 5 minutes before you guys connect to each other. So just be prepared for that, especially if you're going to do it with a friend. Like I said, I'll explain a little bit more on how to do everything here in a minute, but I really just wanted to show kind of the basics of what you're trying to do. Now, as you move on and you keep going further, you know, this is how really you can do any of these by yourself. I think the later ones I think the later ones, if you're leveled enough, you could probably do by yourself. But for the most part, some of the stuff I think later on is meant to be done with a group of people instead of just by yourself. At least it'll make it easier instead of you going all alone and doing stuff. So just keep that in mind. But this first one you can definitely complete by yourself, and I am going to do it in this episode. So like I said, most of this episode right here is just going to be completely optional, but there are some very, very good things about going down to these labyrinths. You get a lot of material upgrades. You definitely get some gems that are rare, and then the biggest thing you get is you get a bunch of ritual blood, and you're like, well, if it's only used to get in, why do I need a bunch of ritual blood? The key is that you can sell them, and you can sell 1 ritual blood for 1,200 souls. By the end of this, I think I leave here, I think I have 15 ritual bloods. I'm not going to need 15 ritual bloods to get into any chalice. I think the most is 2, maybe 5 at the most is what I'm going to need. So that's definitely something you could do, right? Like I could open this up. I only need 2 to open this chalice up. So I get 15, right? I sell 13 of them, and then I keep 2, and then I open this back up, and then I go back through it, grind some more and get some more ritual bloods, come back through. That's like 15k pop each time I get through this area. Now it does take some time, and it's probably not the most efficient way, but it is something fun to do, especially with a friend. So just keep that in mind. This is a great way to grind for some stuff and get some good gear. That's actually a little bit randomized. Okay, so the start of this dungeon, let me just say, I didn't do so hot. I was still coming off that BSB fight, and I guess I just wasn't playing top notch. Every dungeon is gonna have a door like this. It's your locked progress door. Behind that door is usually what leads to the next level and the first boss of the boss of the level you're on, and then which afterwards leads to the next level is what I'm trying to say. And that's the door you need to find a gear or something to unlock it. So that's your ultimate goal in these areas, is to figure out a way around that and then get past it so you can go fight the first boss. Now, while I'm running around and dying, as you can see, I am not having the greatest opportune moment here of combat that I've ever had in my life. So as you can see, I'm playing very sloppy. I don't know what it was. I do promise it gets better. In fact, after a certain point I don't die at all, so I don't know what it was. I was just rushing things. I don't know if I just wanted to get through it fast for some reason or not. I don't really know. For something that I've never explored yet, it's surprising how, like, look at that cool ass throw he just did right there. And he kills me right here. I don't know if I got more damage because of the pool I was in. It looks like it's made of like oil or grease or something. So I don't know if that did extra damage to me or not, but I definitely died fast. So I just used the magic of video to get me back over to where I was, so you don't have to watch me run back over here. I don't do anything special, I promise. I didn't pick up anything off camera, nothing like that. So I just wanted to make it quicker so you guys didn't have to see me run back or anything like that. And how to deal with this guy, because he can be kind of a dick. He throws those pretty quickly, throws them faster than you can, apparently. I miss all the time with these Molotovs unless the guys are really slow and they don't know I'm coming. So he falls down. Okay, so here's what's super cheap, is when you're on the ladder and the enemy attacks you, you can get hit. But you're about to see that when they're on the ladder and you attack them, they are invincible. And it is the cheapest shit. I was like, come on, really? You can make them, why make them invincible? Like you tricked them into falling. Like, why can't I take advantage of me above the ground as they climb up? So you're gonna see right here, I swing at him and I like completely whiff. Like really, like seriously from off. They don't need every advantage possible. Then of course he doesn't die, so he's still alive. I think I was like, I'm not gonna go down there because I know I'm gonna go down and he's gonna throw a bomb at me and kill me, and I'm gonna look extra stupid. So I'm gonna stay up here and look extra stupid instead. But he's not going to be the one that kills me this time around. Foreshadow events by explaining the exact event that's going to happen. Oh, look at this. Isn't this amazing? It looks so good. You know that guy at the end is going to throw something. I knew it. And then I turned around because I saw the little messenger guys holding the lamps right there. Remember, these areas are supposed to be communion for hunters. So there's supposed to be you can see the messengers, I guess, a lot. I don't know. That's, I guess, my best description for that. Also, a couple of neat little things is sometimes you enter a room and blue lights will light up. That's just to kind of show that you've been to that room already, so you don't get lost. There's little things like that, little tidbits of stuff that happen. I bring out my shield because I'm like, I think I can probably block this. I knew he was gonna do something, and then I realized it was poison, and I freak out. I land on this guy. I land down here, and guess what happens? He's like, bro, really? You're just gonna fall on me like that? So that's actually a new enemy type. If you haven't played past the point of the BSB and you go straight to the Chalice, that's a new enemy you haven't seen yet. So I'm like, oh, great. Now I gotta run all the way back. So I decided to run over and attack this guy first. I know where he's at. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this leads to him. So I head down this way, and I'm ready to take this guy out because I was mad. He has my souls too. I made like 10 souls that I had. All you gotta do is do a double sweep attack and do it one more time, because what ends up happening is after he takes some damage, he decides that he wants to enrage, and he uses a spell that turns him kind of crackling red, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And it basically makes him enraged, and he attacks a lot faster, and he already hits super hard, but he hits even harder, and he can be a real pain in the butt, as you will see later on in my playthrough, especially in the place that I end this video. You'll see how much tougher they are, and they can be a big pain in the butt. So keep that in mind. Just keep little strategies in mind that he will do that to you. And what ended up happening after he's enraged is he just goes crazy. Goes crazy with his physical attacks, and he tries to dominate you as much as he can, as quickly as possible. And he's a big pain in the butt. Biggest pain. So just keep a good eye on him. Take your time killing those guys. Try not to get rushed by them as best as you can. This little sewer area seems to be a good little area. It gives me a lot of little items all around. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, that's nice that the dead end actually leads you to something good instead of just being a dead end altogether. So I was happy with the loot I got there. I was like, that's some good stuff. I saw the loot behind here, which confused me for a second because I was like, where'd he go? Another Molotov. So I'm getting, I'm getting some vials here, some quick bullets there, just getting a bunch of little things every once in a while, and it does truly add up. Now you see these red guys, you've seen them I think probably once before in the last part before I died. They are part of a special part in the dungeons, and what ends up happening is every level has I believe every level has a lady who spawns those enemies. And really, to me, your first goal before trying to figure out how to get through, like, he hit me right there. Ain't that some bullshit? He can hit me on the ladder, but I can't hit him. Anyways, there's a lady who decides that she wants to summon monsters in every level, and it's your job to really seek her out and kill her first, because she can make the level very overwhelming. Most of the time, the monsters that she spawns won't spawn unless you come close to her. So once you start seeing them, you should know that she's around somewhere. She's relatively close, because otherwise, if you're not getting attacked by them, then that means you're not really near where she's at yet. So use that kind of as a gauge. If you start seeing a bunch of red enemies, know that she's probably around somewhere. And if you start seeing a frequency of a lot of them, then definitely know she's probably pretty close. I did a great dodge right there, I'm not even gonna lie. That was pretty amazing. So I see him coming through here, so I know that at least she's in this room, if not past it. And then there she is up on the little riser right there. Now, at this point, remember, I'm running through this, I don't know, so I'm trying to figure out where these red guys are coming from, and that's my first indication right there. I see her pop it out of the ground, and then I wait again just to make sure I saw what I did before this guy comes and attack me, and I did. So I was like, oh, okay, so she's the one causing these problems. I need to definitely go kill her first. Luckily, she's not super hard to kill. In fact, you can probably get to her relatively easily and just slash her to death. Now, the neat thing is, most of the summons that she brings out of the ground, once you kill her, they usually all die. I've had some cases, though, where those red guys didn't die, and I guess it's because she didn't summon them. Maybe something else summoned them. If a trap summons them, then when you kill her, those ones that come from a trap won't die. Only the ones she spawns will die. So keep that in mind if you're getting overwhelmed. Just go run up and attack her, and then all her spawns will at least disappear. This guy was trying to be tricky, and he did a good job of it. Falling on my head, like trying to do all these little cool little Tony Hawk Pro Skater tricks. Give me a break, man. Get off me. Get off me. So now I'm cautious about coming up here. I don't know what I'm looking at, and I get hit again by something that's causing poison, and I'm like, oh, this isn't going good. I don't have any antidotes because I used them all on my last fight, and I kind of just stuck here. So I actually wait here for a second to slow down my poison, and I'm like, I can't just stand here. Like, this would be the boringest thing if I just stood here the whole time. So I was like, I gotta go try to kill things. So I come over here, and then this guy just goes, nope, nope, that's a big nope. And he just stomps my face in. So I was like, you know what, screw you. So I started the video back up once I got back to this room. Again, I just didn't want to have y'all sit through me running back here. I come in here, and I'm like, this is it. I'm whomping all of you guys. We're going down. Take her out. I don't know what she was doing right there, but we took her out. Really, like I said, she's not super hard to kill. And these guys, again, nothing difficult. Actually, most of the monsters in here aren't super difficult. I sometimes make them seem more difficult because of the way I play. I sometimes rush things too much. It's just because I want to get somewhere fast, and I'm trying not to take as much time to get there, which kind of ruins the way I actually play this game, because I usually play it really, really slow, especially my first time through, which I think I kind of portray that I play it slower. I don't try to run through everything, but there's sometimes when I think I just get a little frustrated. I've already died a couple times, and I'm just like, you know what, I just want to get through this as fast as possible. So once you usually see one of these big guys, they're usually the ones guarding the switch that you need to pull. So just keep that in mind. They're different types of them, so don't think like it's always going to be this one dude that's going to be guarding. In fact, I think you see on the next level when I get there, it's a different type of enemy. Just now all I need to do is survive, hopefully not get poisoned, hopefully, and pull this lever right here. I'm trying to aim and hit these, there's these little black urns that shoot out that gas, so you can hit those urns and break them, and then they'll stop pouring out the gas. Not useful right now, really, but just something just in case it's annoying you for some reason. If they're blocking something you don't want to be blocked. Now, as you notice, the message said that a door unlocked somewhere, and that door would be the one I passed, like at the very, very beginning. So I am headed back that way. Sorry, guys. I'm recording this really late right now, and I am super tired. I'm not gonna lie. I had a long day today. I was at work. That's why my number 4 video got up so late, was because yesterday I was having huge problems getting it to render and getting it to come out. Finally, that whole video was just hard for me to do. Boss was giving me problems, and after it came out, it was giving me problems. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this out. So I finally was able to get it out this morning while I was at work. Look at this cheap shit. Did you just see what happened? I walked right through that door, and the minute I got to the other side, he jumps me. I was like, are you joking me? Like, seriously, another death? Like, I was so pissed at that point, but I still took my time. I believe I kill him on this one right here. Really, the biggest thing is just dodge. Like, take one swing and then just dodge if you have to. Try not to do multiple swings, because I think I do try to do a couple in the match, and it definitely doesn't work out to my favor. I will get hit every time. So with this first guy, really just take a step back, try to avoid as much of that as possible. As you can see, I almost died right there. If I wouldn't have made that last dodge correctly, I would have been hit by it, and that wouldn't have been fun. I'd be making another trip back. I would have probably just cut it and make my trip back. But yeah, definitely, just like I said, look for his swings. He has a couple of unique ones. Just try to figure out get a feel for when his combo is going to end, and that's your best bet to run up and attack him. And that's really all I do. Like, there's nothing that you should really be afraid of in this fight. He is strong, but he's also really easy to dodge, so even if you get hit by 1 or 2, you can heal and you can continue to fight, and there's no other, like, anything else you need to really worry about. I do like that he's called an undead giant. It's kind of making me think of Dark Souls 2 with the giants and that. I mean, he even kind of looks like it in a weird way, the way his body's built and stuff. But that wouldn't probably make much sense, because I don't think Dark Souls 1 and 2 are going to be related to Bloodborne at all. So I'm not going to be making any speculations here. But yeah, it's just interesting to see that he's called the Undead Giant. And I also don't know how much I can trust these rooms to be giving you correct lore into the actual game, because they are randomized. Who knows what they're going to put in any of these dungeons. For all we know, we're going to have to fight. You're gonna have to fight the ancient dragon. That's gonna suck. So definitely excited about showing this off though. Now let me explain everything you need to know about the Chalice dungeon and what we need to talk about. The biggest thing I think is if you want to play with a friend, which is kind of the big thing, right? You want to go and you want to play with your friends and this, and that's understandable. I definitely want to also. The easiest, I won't say the easiest way, but the way to do it is, the first thing to do is whoever wants to be the host, they need to create the dungeon, right? Make that person create the dungeon, and then what you need to do is set it to close, and then give all your friends the glyph number. Now what's going to happen is they're going to put the glyph number in, and then they're going to enter the dungeon that you made, but they're not going to be in the same dungeon as you, if that makes any sense at all. Because right now, to me, that makes 0 sense. Basically, they're creating a room that looks exactly like the room you're in right now, except that they're not in the same room as you. Now, to be in the same exact room, one of you, the host, should ring the beckoning bell, which you can get. You get actually immediately from the game, if I remember right. You pick it up from the messengers next to when you wake the puppet. You need to ring that bell. At the same time or afterwards, your friends that are now inside the game you created, right, but not in the game with you, again, if that makes any sense, they need to ring their resonant bell. Once they do that, it may take, like I said, it may take some time, but you guys should end up joining together, and then you can go through the first floor. Now, after the boss is done, what ends up happening is the person who got in there with you will be kicked back out, and then they will have to progress through the first level of their dungeon. So all you got to do is just reverse the order. Now that person who just got in, or that just got kicked out and was the guest, should now become the host by ringing the beckoning bell, and then the guest, or the other person who was the host before, will now be the guest. And they will ring their resonant bell. Now that hopefully made some sense at all. That's the way to right now get to play with your friends. It's kind of a really, really bad way, I think, of doing it, but at the same time, you know, at least it's an option, and it's way better than trying to find your friend's soap on the ground and hoping and praying that that it will show up and that you will be able to connect to them. And instead of, at least now you know you're going to get a guaranteed thing, it's just going to take some time before it happens. That's the best way of me explaining exactly how to get your friends to join. Other than that, like I said, Chalice dungeons, if you place a Chalice down that's not rooted, then you will get the same dungeon every time you place that challenge down. But if you place a Chalice down that has a root in its name, that means every time you place it, it will be a random different dungeon, which is, I think, pretty cool. And I consider this kind of like what they wanted to be the new game plus mode of this. Even though there is NG plus at the end of this game, I think they really were focusing on doing this. So I see this red guy and I'm like immediately like, where's the bell girl? I know she's here somewhere. He came through this door, so let me head over here. And if you listen really closely, you can actually hear her bells chiming away. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it on YouTube, but I was able to barely hear it. So I knew she was coming from this direction. And I was like, yes, there she is. So once you take her out, like exploring the rest of the dungeon is actually not that difficult. Because you don't see like they all died right there after she summoned them. It becomes a lot easier because you don't have to worry about those random guys coming up and attacking you at just random times. So here we go. I found this, and look how funny this is. This cracked me up when it happened. He wrecked me. Look at that wreck, and then he just sat on me. Like he just put his butt crack on my head. Like seriously, dude. First of all, you're nude. Get some clothes. All right, have some respect. Have some respect, please. But he totally wrecked me. He just rolled up at me and was like, you want some balls in your face? Boom! Knocked me the fuck out. I was like, oh my god. That is the last time I die. However, I am super excited to say that. I don't think I die ever again at the end. Oh, I don't die ever again in this game. Ever. Doesn't happen. No, I don't die ever again until the very end of this episode, and then the one at the end of this episode is done on purpose. And you'll see why. I wanted to show a very unique thing that happens in a certain area, and I wanted other people to know about it, so I put it in video. I think the design of these areas is actually really awesome, and I'm super excited to check out what the other Chalice areas bring and what they look like. This area, like in like a tomb, I think it just looks super cool. Bring this fat guy up here, this bastard. Come up here. You're gross, dude. He's so gross. Rolling around showing his ass crack to the world. Come on, man. Come on. He got his balls in his hand and shit. Look at this guy. Kind of reminds me of Smo a little bit in a weird way. And that weapon usually just looks pretty cool. I wonder if you can get certain weapons like that or not in this game. I hope so. I think that'd be pretty awesome if you could. I don't know what that trick would be on that weapon, but it'd be really nice to see. Oh, look, he's flashing us. Look at it. It's so gross. Gross. Let me touch your light spot. Get that from you. So heading down here, usually, like I said, those guys are the ones guarding your switch that you're looking for. So there you go. Look, switch number 2. I'm already making progress. Like I said, after I kill the bell lady, I'm excited now. I can really just explore the area without having to worry about those guys coming up behind me or freaking me out or hitting me when I don't want to be hitted. So I don't want to be hitted and get staggered too much, and then I'm not able to maneuver like I want to. Lots of blood vials, lots of quicksilver bullets. Like I said, a good place to farm for items, and also souls, because you can sell those blood ritual items for quite a high price. Plus, you get all the souls that you get for killing these guys and making your way through it. Overall, just a fun experience. And then, like I said, you can do it with a friend, so it gives you and your buddy something else to do other than trying to run around in the real world and matching up that way. Earlier, I said that first altar is a makeshift altar, and that one kind of just lets you randomly join, different people's dungeons and whatnot. Makes it a little bit simpler. I believe you don't get the makeshift, you don't get the chalice for it. I believe it is called the short ritual root chalice, and you get it somewhere, supposedly later on in a Hintertomb chalice, but I'm not 100% sure if that's correct. However, that's something you can shoot for. Like I said, most of this chalice dungeon thing, once you get the first chalice cup from BSB, is pretty self-sufficient. You're gonna find more and more chalices as you go through this. Oh, look at that sneak attack right there. That was epic. I almost die right here because of that shit. But I don't. But I almost do. However, like I was saying, you find more and more chalices as you go through the dungeon, so don't worry about having a limited amount. As you play through them, you'll unlock more, and you'll unlock and then you'll find the ingredients to use the chalices that you do find as you go through these levels. The biggest thing I did want to talk about right here, especially since I'm really close to it right now, my insight is 16. It has been speculated, and I'm almost positive that they're correct. The higher your insight is, the harder the game actually gets. Supposedly the first cap is 15. I bet there are probably more caps than that. And the best way to do it is, and the best way if you want to test it out yourself, is to find, I guess the best way would be, the easiest way for me to tell was when I end up getting the key to the next area, the one that costs 10,000 souls or 10,000 echoes, and I buy it on my other character, and I go to that area, and all the monsters there look like the priest guys that are in the previous area, except all their weapons are glowing. Like, they all have some kind of glow to them, and I'm like, wow, they look really cool. I just thought they were new enemies. Well, I ended up using some of my insight on my other character to buy some stuff, and I drop, I believe I dropped below 15, and all their weapons didn't glow anymore. And they became like, oh, that scared the shit out of me. Not right now, it didn't, because I knew it was coming up, but it scared the hell out of me when I was playing. Like, I literally, like, jolted when it happened. I, like, freaked me out, like, freaked out. Anyways, once you get, I believe it was below 15, the enemies you fight, their weapons won't glow anymore. In the same area, same enemies, just two different types of weapons, two different types of strength. So that's a big tip. If you want to make the game a little easier on yourself, just keep your insight below 15, and you should be able to do that. Now, it's super hard to do that because every time you see a boss, you get 1. Every time you beat one, I think you get 3. And then, you know, there's the madman knowledge, and there's other things that just give you insight. So it's hard to keep it under, but you do, and you are able to spend them. So if you have to spend them, get them below 15 to help you out if you're in a really troubled area. It just makes enemies a lot easier to kill. That's a little spiel on insight. I think I was trying to mention that in the last video, but I never got to it. So I'm glad I at least got to it today and remembered to do it. Now, I think I'm headed towards the boss. I'm like, okay, let's get this over with. You can super cheese this boss. Super cheese him super easily. Right off the bat, just run forward. I didn't know this when I was running here. I just ran forward because I was like, maybe they'll just mess up. I was really actually hoping for it. I was like, I'm hoping they like get stuck, and I realized that guy he's trying to attack me, but he doesn't know how to get to me. So I'm like, okay, no one's coming down. No one's come after me yet. Maybe if I just stand here, I can bait them out towards me. And man, am I happy I did this, because fighting 3 of these guys would have been tough as nails, I think. These 3 would have been so quick. They're super fast, first of all. Like, abnormally fast for their size. And then on top of that, just having them 3 on me all the time. And one of them is a gunner. It's just not worth it. So definitely cheese them. I'm all down for the cheese action. I fight all 3 of these guys one-on-one. It makes life just so much easier, and I don't have to worry about as much. Still hits like a truck though. If you saw that up in the upper right corner or upper left corner, he pretty much just killed me almost. One shot. I'm pretty sure if he can get you with those stabs, you're gonna be pretty close to being done. So very, very careful to watch out for this guy. This one is the Merciless Watcher. He's the second one apparently, and you just wanna be careful around him. Definitely, like I said, cheese him like I did. I think if you just run forward, I don't know if you stand there at the doorway, I don't know if they find their way down, but I do know if you run forward towards them, they can kind of get stuck in that little cul-de-sac area up there, and then you're able to find them one by one as they come down the stairs. Now I'm really trying to bait this guy, and I realize that he's not having none of it. Like, they're seriously not having none of this. I don't know why he doesn't want to come around this corner. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Let's get going here. Let's get going. I guess not. I guess he just doesn't. He doesn't like me. Maybe it's my hat. Maybe I need a better hat or something. I don't know. I don't know why this guy's being such a jerk. But come on, man. Apparently he doesn't want to fall off his ledge either. Like, come on, dude. Seriously. And he's the one. He was like, I know what you're trying to do, bro. And I am not gonna let that happen. So he starts walking a little bit closer, and then I just think I can hit him. I'm like, I can hit this guy. I know I can. My axe can go through anything, because apparently it's a superhero weapon. And it can go through walls. Now, how sick would that be? That'd be the coolest thing. But I keep missing. Like, my timing's off. I need to get him right when he attacks the ground. I need to attack him and get that. But I am just missing horribly. So now what I'm really hoping for is he just runs down here. And he gets on my level. Get on my level. And he finally does, I believe, fall right here. And at this point, you kind of get him stuck to following you. And now I'm golden. I'm set to deal with this guy. I love their design. I think they look pretty freaking cool. I love the lamp that they carry around. I don't know if it's something you can carry around one day, but I think it's just cool looking. They remind me kind of like really, really badly drawn like Tonberries. Like if you get hit by one of them, you like get the death sentence and you have to beat it in a certain amount of time, or else you will die instantly. Which, by the way, is a cool concept, I think, from software. You should put that in here. Everybody's like, shut up, Chris. Doesn't need to be harder than it already is, you asshole. So I'm giving them ideas. Well, you know, I just thought it'd be nice, you know. Just mark that down. If that happens in another video game of theirs, just know they heard me. They heard me, and that's the reason why. This guy, all he does is shoot a stupid pistol. He shoots it really funny. And he's a pain in the ass. That's basically all he does. You can get close to him enough where he'll pull out his big like cast iron thing that the first guy was using. But if he pulls that out, you should have a pretty easy time with killing him. It's just his little gun is the pain in the ass. I start learning how to dodge it though, because I get its timing down. So I start using that against him. Apparently, predator vision, all that shit didn't matter. All that mattered was that you have an axe and you're ready to go down. Ready to go down, Arnold. Man, that gun, the way he shoots it too just cracks me up. He holds it up to his eyeball. He's like, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you. Just hold still for like 5,000 seconds so I can aim. I'm really using the pillars to the best of my advantage. What I was trying to do right there was I was hiding behind the pillar and then popping out and attacking him and then hiding back around. He gave me enough time because in between shots he takes forever to reload his weapon, so it gives you plenty of time to do that. Now he pulls out his weapon, especially now that he's low health. Just watch out. Just keep moving side to side and you should be fine. I try to be fancy. You don't need any of that fancy. Just deal with them. So right here you see I got the root chalice. So if I ever place that down, it would bring me a random dungeon every time. So it keeps things fresh instead of just being the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. That would suck. It gives you usually a chalice or so where you can get the main thing done, and then you'll be able to get a root chalice for that area also, which will help you build random dungeons for you and your friends, so it's not super boring. Overall, the first fight has been the hardest. I believe this fight is not that hard, especially if you treat it like that. However, if you had to fight all three of them at once, that fight could be incredibly more difficult. I'm glad I was able to get that pool around me. I don't know if I even really needed it or not. I'm not sure if there was off ramp on this or not. Not 100% sure. So I just leave it like that. Now I'm entering the next area. We'll see, and I'm like, let me go back real quick. Let me see if I can spend some of my souls doing something. Puppets sleeping. Wake up. Wake up. I believe I don't have enough to level up yet. I think I need like 5,600 or something like that. But I check anyways because I wasn't 100% sure. Nope, 5,200. Later on, I think I need 5,700, and I was like completely off because I didn't remember this number to begin with. Always remember how much you need to level up with. It helps out instead of having to go through that dialogue and all that painstaking way to get it. I'm like, F this, I need antidotes because apparently this game is going to make me buy antidotes, and I'm just going to need it. So I spent all my money there, and then I'm like, wait a minute, could I level up my weapon? Did I get anything I could level up my weapon with? And I start thinking about all these things, and I'm like, I could have probably done something. I could have done something else. So I end up here in a minute selling some stuff actually because I wanted to do something else and I can't quite remember what it was. Do I do it yet? Maybe I just go back. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead. Oh, I must be thinking way too far ahead. We'll see what I'm talking about later. Man, I thought that was the spot, but I guess not. So here we are, level 3. This is where things get nuts. Like crazy. There's your door. Good thing it shows it right off the bat to you. Like, sweet. That's what I need to unlock. Let's see what I gotta do. So I first see this area, I'm like, oh, this doesn't look like it's too bad. It might be just a couple like sewer pipes or something that I have to get through and just deal with the people that are down here and I'll be fine. However, I get over here and I noticed it opens up greatly. By greatly, I mean it is massive how big this area is. And then I turn and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Oh god. Why does it have lasers and it's shooting at me? So I freak out and I jump back. And now I'm just like, uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. This place is huge. And I see this red guy right here and I'm like, alright. Alright. Where's the... Oh, and then I see like 4 more. I'm like, oh god. Get me out of here. And I'm like, I gotta kill the lady that's summoning these as soon as possible. Because she's gonna give me the biggest problems in the entire world. Luckily, she's right here. Now this is where I kill her. And then not all of the red ones die. As you see, that one's still alive. Those are alive still. So I don't know if those spawned because of a trap or if they were just already part of the map, which is what I think is most likely what happened. They're part of a trap that spawned. And you'll see, like you saw earlier, I believe, when I walked in that one path and like they all spawned around me, that those things can happen. So especially if you see someone with like a hood like that, more than likely they spawn somewhere and they're meant to come in and attack you. And that's why they didn't disappear with her, because she's not technically the one that spawned them. More ritual blood, awesome. Those are the things you kind of want to find because they are the things you can sell for a lot. Not to beat a dead horse, but yeah, just keep remembering that. Those things do sell a lot and you can definitely make a ton of money. I saw this and it gave me an option. I was like, oh cool, I can shoot it. I was hoping I can aim it at that fucking thing, but it wouldn't let me. It just lets me shoot it right over there. So I'm thinking maybe it's something where if you're with a co-op partner, you can drag that guy over there and then use that gun to shoot him. I couldn't think of really what else reason you could use that thing for, or why it would even exist if you can't move it around or aim it. At least I don't know you can aim it. Maybe there's a button you can hold and get it to aim, but if you know that, write it down in the comments. Let us know. I see the guy with the bag, and I'm like, oh, I want to kill the guy with the bag. That's exactly what one of my thoughts right here. I'm just like, oh, I want to kill this guy. Let me kill this guy. I need to get down there, and this guy needs to be slaughtered for the things he will do to me later that are unforgivable. And you'll see at the end of the video what I'm talking about. You bastard. Dare you take advantage of me? Is it too early to crack Bill Cosby jokes? Can I do that? Or is it still too early? Is it still too early for that? Oh well. Two charge attacks in your trick mode and he's down for the count. And I'm really right now thinking about, should I go fight that thing or should I just wait? I decide, I'm like, you know what, I'll just wait. And then I see, oh, look, a lever. And I was like, ooh, a lever. What does this do? Ooh. It's like a kid in a candy store. Ooh, what is it? What is it? I thought it like opened a door or something. But it brings down an elevator, which I should have figured was going to be a trap. I should have been like, you know what? This is probably not the best way up. It just doesn't feel right. It's probably not the best thing. And of course, right up here, this guy is standing here, and he's just waiting. He's purposely set there, just waiting for you to come up that stupid elevator, just so he can throw a bomb in your face. Jackass! What a jackass! Now look, this place is huge, but there's a lot of nothing. That's kind of what's weird about this area. Is like it's just this massive place, and it looks awesome, and it has this cool ambiance to it, but as I'm running around, I'm like, well, there's really just nothing here. It's just a bunch of empty hallways. However, it does look cool, so I enjoy it regardless. But I wish there was a couple more monsters to fight. Maybe throw a werewolf right here or something. That'd be pretty cool. However, they don't, and I'm just like, okay, so now I'm headed back the way I came. I actually passed, I think, the door that I came in here with, and I'm like, you know what, let me go check this out. What's going on? Anybody? What's up? What's up? And now this confuses me later, because there's a room that's exactly like this one, and it actually confused me later on when I get to that room. I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense though. How did I get here from where I was? And I was like, uh-oh, it's playing with my mind. But then I just realized it's a completely different room. I was like, they're not smart enough to make two of the same room. I was like, you're an idiot, Chris. Why would they not be able to make two of the same room, especially when most architecture is built off symmetry? So got some mold. Now mold is another ingredient. I should have looked at it. I don't think I do, but it's another ingredient that lets you can use for chalices to get in. So you need ritual blood or molds. Molds seem to be a little more rare to find, so definitely use those on chalices you're definitely going to want to keep up, or the ones that you're for sure going to try to beat. Right here, right here, I see the item in the long hallway, and I'm like, you know what? Just F it. Let's go for it. So I just jet for it. And I'm just like, you know what? If it kills me, it kills me. And of course, with bravery comes awesomeness. There was nothing there. Cool fog effect, though. I love that fog effect right there. It looks so good. It's so well done. It's just really nice. A really nice atmosphere to this game. It's quite amazing how it just puts you in this mood of, you know, you're in this area, you're in this town. Please join us. Please join us in our storytelling and just getting you ready for this game. It does a great job of that. Now, this person is the freakiest. I suppose if you kill her or him, you can get, I believe, some vials of blood. It's kind of like to restore you. However, if you don't do anything, it doesn't do anything. So it's kind of sad in a way. Like, what is this? Who is this? You know what it really reminds me of? It really reminds me of the Maiden in Black from the Nexus. I don't know why I think that. In fact, I was gonna look something up. So maybe I'll do it. I'll have it for you next time, because here later on, she's holding, or it or she or someone is holding a necklace in her arm. And you can kind of see it right there dangling just a little bit. I get a really good close-up of it later because I'm really trying to look at her face later. But right now I'm just kind of freaking out. I'm wondering what she's going to do, because she is kind of scary. She scared me at first. I was like, uh-oh, she might turn into some monster or something. But really, she just stands there. I believe she gives you like 10 blood vials. Other than that, I haven't found much use for her. She actually started walking away, and I was like, oh, maybe she leads me somewhere. You know, maybe there's a secret she leads me to. Or she, you know, she wants to take me somewhere. So I stop what I was doing again, and I start following her around. But then she gets stuck on this wall over here, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to waste any more time. I don't really want to sit here and just watch her like jam herself into the wall every few seconds. And you'll see what I'm talking about. God, she walks so slow too. Look how slow that walk is. It is incredibly slow. So I was like, well, at first I was like, man, am I gonna have to follow her? Hopefully she doesn't go very far. For all I know, she could be trying to point something to me by facing over there and stuff, and I just wasn't smart enough to get it. But from what I've seen, it was just a bunch of nothing. So I don't think I did anything wrong. It's probably the one time I didn't attack the wall, and maybe I should have, because there is a kind of a rug there. I don't know. Maybe there's something back behind there. It's just weird. She's just there, and then she starts just wandering off, which kind of tricky. She starts shaking violently. It flipped me out. I thought she was morphing or changing into something else, and I was like, oh god, here we go. As you can tell, like, I trust nothing in these games, which is a good way to believe. Do not trust anyone. Like, there's no reason to in this game. Don't trust anybody with anything. Just, you know, believe in yourself, because that's going to get you the furthest. You start thinking that a person, they always have an agenda, especially in these games. They always have an agenda. She turns around and freaks out again, and I'm just like, who are you? You kind of, like I said, you kind of remind me of the Maiden in Black. Like, she really does. She's taller, obviously, and skinnier, but the way she holds the staff. Here in a minute, I look at her eyes. She's blind. And the only thing is that necklace thing that she has. I don't know what or where that's from, because I haven't looked it up yet. I kind of I looked at it, and then I kind of just forgot about it until just now when I needed to talk about it. So here we go. Here comes the next bastard who's blocking my progress through the rest of this dungeon. He's got his nice little... That's a good attack, to be honest. The only thing bad about it is it's easily sidesteppable, but he uses it so quickly that if I even try to run forward into his attack, I'll get hit by it and then hit again. So it's actually a very, very... I should say a good weapon. But, you know, to digress, it's just... I really... Like, there's some weapons, like, I think that would be a cool weapon to have. Like, if I could heat it up or something like that, or turn it on, that'd be pretty sweet, and then turn it off. That'd be pretty awesome to get a weapon like that, especially with a cool moveset. I would use it for a little bit, as long as it doesn't tie into my stats in any way where, like, I have to have, I guess, arcane in this case would be arcane, whatnot, to make it better. Yay, unlocked. I can finally go back. So heading back, I think I decide that I don't think I do too much more exploration, but I think I end up going the wrong way. That's what happens. There's that lady again, just tripping balls against the wall. I'm still looking over there, and I'm like, is there just... Like, there's nothing there. Like, it really isn't. Like, there's no secret wall or nothing that I can tell. There's nothing. So either she just glitches out right there, and you're just meant to kill her but I keep her safe. So I start trying to look at her eyes. She looks blind to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me wishing for something, but she does look like she doesn't have eyeballs. And then, like I said, you can see the necklace on her hand, or beads, I guess you could say, maybe even, or a rosary. Who knows what it is, but it is there on her hand. And I was like, man, later on I should definitely check out my friend again, and just to make sure that that's what I think it is. And it looks like I don't know what it looks like, two serpents going around something is really what it looks like the medical. It looks like a nurse kind of thing, and maybe that's what it is. It does look like a rosary. Like, it looks like the nurse symbol with the two serpents around a central spire. Again, actually, I think that's one of the things that is an Axis Mundi that I've talked about in previous episodes. That's a visual representation of one also. I don't know exactly how. You'd have to look that up, but I believe it explains it somewhere in Wiki. I get excited because I'm like, yes, here we go. I'm in the last part. Let me go check out this big ass badass dude. So I finally go down there, and I want to hit him, but then I start toying with him too much, and I think he starts hitting me a lot. And I'm like, I gotta stop this because this is gonna hurt. And then I finally do hit him. Watch how much damage I do to this guy. I'm like, oh, let me hit this guy. Look how cool he is, though. He looks really, really cool. First of all, this is bullshit. It's funny how I say it's bullshit when I do it to them. I'm like, yeah, just use whatever method you need. But they do it to me. I'm like, this is BS. You should be able to hit me behind a stone pillar. Well, to be honest, it's true. You shouldn't be able to. But I digress. All right. Yeah, I'm just looking at him like, what's his moves? And then I thought about maybe I can bait him over here, and then I can shoot him with the cannon. And you see me stop for a second, and I'm like, I need to go hit him. I just need to go hit him to see how much damage I do. That's why I stop right here. That is literally why I stop. And I'm like, I need to go back. I have to I have to try. I was like really thinking to myself. I was like, can I do it? You know, what kind of damage can I do? What does it give you for killing it? It's got to give you something. And then he does, look at these attacks. They're ridiculous. They're so ridiculous. It's like, reminds me of Monster Hunter. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I'm trying to be really careful that I don't die. Even though if I did, I already pulled the switch, so everything would be alright if I did die. However, I just didn't want to die again, so I go over here. I'm like, alright, I try to run away again, and then I'm like, let me just go hit him, because if I can do like a quarter of damage per hit, then it's only 4 hits and I should be fine. And then we'll see what kind of souls it gives me. Watch how much damage I do. This is funny. I hit it and I'm like, nope, later. I'm still trying to get to it. I'm like, I don't know why I'm like freaking out so much. I just need to run up and hit it. Like, just get it over with. Like, what am I doing? Just like, what am I doing like right now? Oh, no, that's right. I know what I'm doing. I'm thinking I have him in the spot where I can hit him with the cannon. But he backs up and I miss. Like, I completely missed. Like, he was pretty close. If I had someone else down there just keeping him where he was at, I think I could have probably pulled that off. But since I'm the only one-man army here, the minute I leave, he leaves, and he's like, peace out, man. Good luck. And again, I'm just like, I do it like 4 times where I run in there and I'm like, should I not? Should I? So I finally just go, okay, here we go. Boom. 25 damage. All right, later. That's me. That's me. I don't even know what I'm doing right there. Just go. Like, I was like, that was probably about right. 25 damage. I'm out of here. That's pathetic. That was, I think if you're like even just 9 levels higher than me, you still don't do great damage to it. Just to let you know, in case you're at that level. So you can totally skip them though. They're not guarding anything except whatever's on their body. So hopefully it's nothing incredibly important. But watch, it's going to be something ridiculous. You can be like, that's the ring my mom wants. So onward to the very end part of level 3. Now there's 2 ways. You got this door to your right, and then you go straight down this way. Now, I'll tell you right now, I didn't know this then, but right down this way is where the boss is at. The last boss of all the dungeons. And then up this way is some stuff. And I'm glad I went this way, because it kind of shows that at the end, I guess at the end, you can take this alternate path. And you got to fight maybe just a little bit more. Nothing incredibly difficult. And by doing so, you get to open up a golden coffin. And I'm guessing whatever's in that golden coffin is probably randomized. I believe in this first dungeon, it's always going to be the same thing. But I don't know if you play through it again, get back to it, if it's the same thing, or if they're going to change it up, give you something else. To me, I think they would change it up. So that's my guess on it. I see another one of these guys, and I go, wait a minute, I've already killed one of you, and there's usually only just one of you. So now I'm starting to think in my head, I'm like, is there going to be another chime lady? Am I going to have to get prepared for it? But I believe there isn't. And look at that nasty bag. Remember that bag too. Remember that bag. Just remember it. Just trust me on this one. Just remember it for me. So this is the room. Remember, I was like, well, this looks exactly like the other one. The only thing that threw me off was that there's some stuff moved around, and then there's also souls on the ground for me to pick up. So I'm taking my precautions here because I feel like this is gonna be a trap. I'm like, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, and and I'm gonna get ambushed, and it's gonna be the end of me. So I believe that's 100 mark. I believe I get some quicksilver bullets, some more Molotov, which is just getting sent to my chest, which is good, because then I can always pull out of there more if I need it. That sounded really dirty. I don't know why. In my mind, all of a sudden, I just like, that sounded dirty. I was like, oh, how about that one? And there's some more tomb mold, so you can use some of the root chalices. I believe the tomb mold, you use more on root chalices than you do on anything else. So just keep that in mind. I believe that's one of the main ingredients for your root chalice. So now I'm in this very beautiful area, to be honest, and I'm just like, oh, more of these flame enemies. I believe, like I said, if you had less than 15 insight, they wouldn't have flames on their weapon. They would just have regular axes. They may even only just have one axe and not two on fire. Just keep that in mind. But I think, to me, from software, I haven't been able to test this yet, but I believe that because it is a little bit harder, they would make it so that they gave you maybe a little bit more souls, just kind of even it out. But I could be completely wrong. I could be just like, they could just be like, well, use your insight so you can make the game easier. But that's up to you, right? And they leave that up to you, which I guess is okay. But there's not a lot of things to buy in insight, a lot with insight at the very beginning. Just saying. I go on a black lamp killing spree. I don't like these fog machines. I'm not a rock star. I don't have time for this shit. Very beautiful right here. The chandeliers and the edge of that cliff. Actually, very, very pretty design for like a old decrepit like castle kind of thing. That's apparently underground. This whole time it's just been underneath, and it's just been being defended over here. Blood vial, yay! And I look down here and I go, oh god, not another one of these fat things. They're everywhere. They're all over the place. Like I said, they remind me of Smo a lot. Another, and they have a gun. The gun is so goddamn ridiculous. But I go back to my trusty double swing, and it seems to be doing me wonders, except for right there, and the multiple times that I use it and I miss. I forget exactly what I do here. Oh, I do something kind of funny here. He gets baited up here. I'm trying to bait him back up here. I'm like, come on, get off the stairs. Sometimes it's hard to hit enemies that are on the stairs, just because of the way the angle is. It works both ways though too. So if you're on the stairs, look at this, boom, and then I'm just like, oh, just die. Oh, that jump attack just looked funny to me. So we got ourselves some gemstones, which is nice. I believe those are some decent ones. I think maybe you gotta repair them though. I'm not 100% sure. Look at this sick ass coffin. I was like, hell yes, I'm gonna get some sick ass stuff. I'm gonna look like a badass. Everybody's gonna wonder where I got all my armor. It's gonna be so cool. And then music plays and some noise plays, and I'm like, ah, here we go, people. This is why I'm born. Right. Aww. It's just more ritual blood, which is technically more souls by the end of the match. But I was kind of pissed. I was like, really? That's what you're gonna give me for getting through the first Chalice dungeon? Is you're gonna give me some souls? You should have given me something that I didn't have, right? You should have given me something that would have been worth it, so that I would, because now I'm like in a mode where I'm like, should I even continue doing these? Because all it did was give me stupid ritual blood. I could have been a lot better off with like a better axe or just some better weapon choice or whatnot. I was just very surprised that that's what was given to me at that point. However, like most people, it's not gonna stop me from doing any more Chalice dungeons. So yeah, kudos, whatever, from software. You know what? Whatever. I'll eat your ritual blood. and I will just keep on playing. So screw you. Screw you. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, I'm guessing that's what this whole side venture was for. I get hit by this stupid trap, and I was pissed. I was like, God, stupid. The arrow's still stuck in me. Anyways, so I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, well, that whole side area was just for that. So let's head back to that other door, yeah, it was, I guess, an archway or a door, and that's probably gonna more than likely lead me back to the boss, and hopefully we get to take care of some business. Hopefully not dying too much. I'll tell you a secret, I don't die at all. I was actually very proud of this last fight. I had really good patience. I took my time really to learn the monster, and then in the end you could see it showed, because I ended up kicking its ass. So yeah, eat it, monster. It's a pretty cool monster too, and I like the name of it. It has a really sick ass name. It's really well done. It's actually a really fun fight, to be honest. Too bad it kind of, the only thing that I would say it lacks in, if anything, is that he's kind of slow. He's not very fast. So he's not like no Sif or anything from Dark Souls. However, he is a pretty cool looking monster. I wish I could just like hit the chandelier. It just drops on him, and that's the end of it, right? Pretty cool, right? Oh man, that's bright. Some bright stuff right there. And this is gross right here. When I first saw this, like, what is he doing? Whoa! And I was this close to thinking he was spawning ads, and I was gonna be really pissed. I was like, no, not a boss with ads. Why? You guys can do better than that. But it wasn't. Luckily, it was just a pool of fire that you could potentially be stuck in. To be honest, I don't know why that's a move, because one, it disappears so quickly, and then two, like, this monster doesn't really have any moves that bring me closer or push me to anything. So I didn't really understand why it was put there. You should have been trying to put it under the monster or used it for something else. I don't know. I just think that was kind of a waste. So the biggest things with this guy right here is if he does that, if he uses his mouth and does that swipe attack with it, where he comes from one end and he cuts from one side to the other side, like this right here, then you may be able to get a swing in. But usually what happens is he tries to counter and come back the other way. So use that to your advantage, and definitely try to bait it. If you can bait the second one, then usually he's open for free, a shot. Now, once he transforms, or he doesn't really transform phases, he just gets a little meaner, a little more aggressive. That combo will last a lot longer. So he'll go one side, then he'll go the other way, and then he'll go straight toward you. And you're gonna see that happen here relatively soon. And that move right there is rough. You get caught in that, that's a lot of health. I got caught in it. This battle actually, I think, lasts quite some time, just because look how much damage I'm doing. I'm not doing a ton of damage, but I am able to do something. So I really take my time over here on this guy. That swipe attack is pretty much his only ranged attack he has, other than the one where he just runs after you and tries to hit you. It's all you gotta do is dodge backwards and just hope that you don't get hit by it. You can kind of try to dodge through it. If you dodge correctly, you can probably draw right through it. But I took the safer route, and I decided to drop it backwards. The other thing, let's see, what else? Yeah, okay, for this attack, you just want to back up as far as possible. It's an insta-kill, so if you get caught in it, I'm sorry, but you're dead. At least you're dead, unless you're like, I don't know. I don't know if you're able to out-level how much damage that does. Because I really don't know how much damage it does do. That bite attack right there, if you can get him, you can get back close to him, and you can get a free swing on his head. But I do a lot of horizontal swings that are missing here, so I try to switch it up and go back. Like, see, I missed, and then I miss a bunch more times. And I was getting frustrated because I was missing. I was like, this battle could have been over a lot longer, a while ago. But because I keep missing my swings, I have to. It's just taking quite some time. So I use also this time right here to heal, but I figure I can run here and grab a good hit and then run back probably out. Overall, like I said, not a super hard boss fight. Really, the biggest thing is just learning his patterns and knowing when to back up and when to attack. If you can do that, I mean, this guy isn't that difficult, to be honest. He may never even hit you if you really learn his patterns really well, especially in future ones. That's the biggest thing to be scared of. I thought I was going to die right there because I got pushed up against the wall. I was going to be really mad if that killed me. But I'm glad it didn't. But like I said, if you wait for him to swipe one way, if you go up there, just don't swing. Just walk up to him. See, like I do right there. I'm trying to get him to bite the other way and then get into his combo, because then I know I can, like right here, see, I get him to bite again, and sometimes he'll bite 2 more times after that. So you just gotta be careful when you're gonna attack and when not to. See, I whiff the swing again, so I get frustrated and I start using the R2 instead of the L2 on this guy, because I need to hit something. Like, I can't just not hit anything. This battle's never gonna go anywhere. So I get lucky there. That was a lucky hit because he lowered his face into it, and I'm whiff again. And I'm like, oh, this is the only time I'm able to attack is when he's thrown up. So I'll take advantage of that. No problem. No problem. And he's just swinging and swinging and swinging. And like I said, I was really happy with the way I fought this, because I really took my time. And I didn't rush anything. I didn't run in there trying to just blow him away with my awesome staff skills. I really took my time trying to beat this guy, though it does take a while. So his name is Watchdog of the Old Lords. I think that's a cool name, because this is kind of like the first area you're in before you get down really deeper into the Chalices. So I think it's a cool name. He's here to protect his I guess his demon masters, or his beast masters, or whatever you want to call it. Beast masters. It's like Beast Wars. So just yeah. I mean, nothing much more to talk about this guy, other than that's all you gotta do, and make sure you heal. He can hurt you pretty bad if you get caught up in 2 of his attacks. You'll probably just die outright. So definitely, if you get hit by 1, just back out of there. It's not worth trying to gain your health back by hitting him and whatnot. And I think not here. I think I do 1 more attack and it lowers him, or do I just go for it? I don't remember. Oh, this is what happens. Yeah, he starts puking again. And I'm like, hit you in the butt. And then it's actually pretty close. He does this a lot in this fight. That's crazy. He does that move quite a bit. It reminds me a lot of what's his name? Smelter Demon, and I don't know why. It reminds me of Smelter Demon. There's nothing like resemblance to him at all with this guy, other than the explosion. For some reason, I think the giant that we fought in the first one looked more, and this is it right here. Just go. Game over, bro. Game over. Thank you for your like 1,000 souls. They don't give a lot of souls, or this is more close to 2,000, but I'll take it. And then that is your Chalice dungeon. That's pretty much all there is to it. That was me blabbering through it for the whole time, trying to really figure out what to talk about, because there's not a lot of story stuff you can talk about in there. I guess I could have went over what the puppet was talking about while I was in there, and that was really the only person that talks, except for here in a minute. This is where I mess up with the souls that I was talking about earlier, when I was like, I mess it up. This is the part where I do it. So the puppet, I think, I don't know if we went over this yet. I'm just gonna repeat it in case I didn't. She talks about a dream, and that it isn't unique to you. This dream seems, or this area, or this dream that you're in, seems to be accompanied by other hunters as well, because their graves are in your dream, which is either really just weird, or that this place is actually is probably real, and it's over in the back area past that gate that's locked right now. And you can look through the gate and see that there's a bunch of graves over there. So that's very interesting to know. Other than that, she also just mentioned that it's been a long time. And it's just been, it almost seems like it's been forever. So since these other hunters were here. So something's happened, right? Either there was a big hiatus of hunters where there's just a bunch of space. I wanted to show off right here that you could sell those ritual bloods for 1,200. There they are right there. I could sell all 9 for right now for like, what did it say? I think it said, well, I'm not sure. Well, like, I want to say 1,800, but that's probably not right. My math. Right now, I'm so tired. Like, these drugs got me so tired right now. But yeah, definitely, it seems like it's been a long time, that there's maybe been a hiatus between the last one and you. She just seems like, because you know how she was when you got here, she was just kind of sitting there like she hasn't been used in forever. So it just kind of puts in the idea that, you know, this place hasn't been used in forever, and you're maybe one of the first hunters to come back in a very, very long time. That's kind of really all that she really says. And you get that dialogue, I think, after you fight the the blood-starved. I believe that's when you get after you fight the blood-starved beast. I'm not sure if you get it after Gascone or not. So we go up here and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, Grant? I wasn't expecting him to be here. So he talks about some stuff, so let's listen.
And the blood ministers who belong to it were once guardians of the hunters in the times of the hunter Ludwig. They worked and forged weapons in their unique workshop. Today, most ministers don't recall the hunters, but they have much to offer you. And so, heed the message of your forebears. Ascend to Erdon Chapel. Ascend from there. You will find the church workshop.
Alright, that's pretty much all he has to say. The biggest thing there is Healing Church and the Blood Ministers were guardians of hunters once a time ago, and then he says Ludwig, so I'm guessing he's referring back to the time when Ludwig was a hunter, or back when his time, that era, that the Healing Church was and the Blood Ministers were guardians of you, and now they kind of just don't even know you exist. Basically, they're just kind of like, So that tells me there's been a lot of time in between there, because just to have some organization just be like, we don't know who you are. Like, what are you? What's a hunter? You know, out of nowhere, it just seems very. It just either two things happen. Either they're hiding something and they're being very suspicious about it, and they're just kind of like, we don't know who you are. Right, but they do. They just don't want to acknowledge it, or there's just been so much time in between that they just don't know what hunters are anymore. So it just kind of brings into that light of that there's just been a lot of time. The same thing the puppet really brought up. So what I'm doing at the end of this episode is what I promised I was going to do on the last episode. That I promised in that episode I was going to do it in this episode, is what I'm trying to say. And I think I talked to him just to see if he had something else to say, but he doesn't. And that is the secret little thing that happened to me. And it's not really a secret, I don't think. I want you to notice that this door opens. After you fight the Bloodstar Beast, you can enter this door that was locked. However, it leads... actually, I haven't gone up there yet, so I wouldn't know where it leads. I was going to say it leads up to somewhere, which is obvious, but... but other than that, I wouldn't know how to finish that sentence. Now, remember, I told you in the last episode that where those ravens were, this guy was here. And now, here's something I want you to notice also. Remember the ones in the Chalice dungeon? How easy they were? Look how hard this guy is to kill. Look at that. I barely took off a quarter of his health with that swing. In the Chalice dungeon, it would be like half his health, if not a little bit more. He's a punk in the real world. He's super tough. He almost kills me with one punch. And I sit here and I'm like, oh my god, really? Come on, beat me up. He kills me right here. So, most people will be like, oh, I'm dead. You know, back to the lamp that's like literally right outside the door. However, I let the Bloodborne screen pop up. And let's see what happens. Alright, how creepy is that? He does some creepy shit. That's a big bag to have your ass in it, though. Or at least I think that's what you're in. You're in a bag. Anyways, we're on Yahar'gul, the Unseen Village, or something like that. Guys, I had fun doing this. Sorry I was maybe sound a little tired, but I am definitely going to check out of here and get some sleep. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments, just leave them down below. Let's have a discussion. But peace out. Later.